And so I start writing down a list of like all the fucking stupid shit Tug has done over the past several years that Comicsgate has completely supported, made excuses for, platformed, done damage control, done cover ups for. So I asked Nick Rekieta just today, and I DM'd him saying someone just told me how that umbrella guy and his wife catfished a guy to bring him out to their state and then ghosted him and left him broke and stranded, after which Doug Tnaple and someone from Iconic Comics had to help the guy out. Any comment on this? And after about 15 minutes, Nick Rekieta replied saying, "No, I've heard some semblance of the allegations, and I have no idea about the specific." First of all, Tug is always melting down. And for anyone who doesn't know, that umbrella guy, one of the biggest schizo cows in Comicsgate, but there are so many that it's hard to say he's the biggest, because let's not forget there's Liam Gray. That umbrella guy is clearly like exploiting his children and abusing them for YouTube clout. So somebody messaged me and told me about that umbrella guy. But here's what he says. "I'm not sure if you're aware of the John Wallace situation, but he contacted me out of the blue a couple of years ago." John Wallace, who made himself publicly known, by the way, so that's nobody's doxing him. Going back to reading, though, he contacted me out of the blue a couple of years ago and was stranded in Tennessee. He said he was alone and surrounded by homeless people and drug addicts. I gave him money for a bus ticket to Philadelphia, no questions asked. He later thanked me and Doug Tnaple on Twitter and nuked his account. He then disclosed to me that he was catfished and blamed that umbrella guy's wife. So I replied saying I heard about the guy who was catfished by Tug's wife for dick pics, that's actually, as it turns out, another story. That umbrella guy's wife was trying to get sex from multiple people, which means that umbrella guy is a cuckold. This kind of behavior from that umbrella guy and his wife is the exact same kind of behavior from people who abuse their children. Now, this guy also says, "It's mind-boggling that so much uber bizarre catfishing stories exist about this family," Tug and his wife. And again, I feel really bad. We said this right in the beginning, like 2019, when Tug basically brought us into his manufactured drama and started faking death threats against himself and blaming us. He pulled a Brianna Wu or
Yeah.
Anita
And again,
Sarkeesian.
also, he didn't have to do any of this. None
Yes,
of them ever have to do any of this,
because
but
we
they
never
choose
confronted
to.
them. But Rekieta knew about this. Rekieta knew that Tug was like this and was a pathological liar, and to this day still supports him and platforms him. Not this specific story, but just some of the other stories. Rekieta's response was to immediately bring Tug on his show to do damage control for Tug.
The
Every
Supreme
time.
Court should step in.
Yes. The Supreme Court needs to stop them. It should force them to get a divorce. He's been, having meltdown, making up hoax after hoax that gets debunked, no, or not debunked or refuted, but rebuked, ontologically, biblically rebuked, in the name of Jesus. There's him making fake death threats against himself and pretending to report them to the FBI. That's an old one. When he accidentally doxed himself, how he called CPS on himself. There was also something we covered a bunch and has been public knowledge is the Sweetcast dox hoax. There's a stream out there somewhere, and the specific clip somebody's clipped and sent to me, of Tug trying to insist that I did dox Sweetcast, and fucking Nick Rekieta and Yellow Flash are sitting there in the stream with him going, no, I don't think that happened. And Tug's like, "Well, I do think it happened." Like he's fucking acting like really confident. And Nick Rekieta's like just shook. The natural giant amounts of estrogen in Nick Rekieta's bloodstream was trying to form the vagina he was supposed to be born with. And you can hear that in Nick Rekieta's voice on that clip. The time that he doxed Vickyverse and bragged about it. And we have the video clip of him admitting to that.
If you take profile pictures and you reverse image search and you start going through places like Instagram and Facebook, you can find some of these people who love talking about criminal activity for other people. And
so, for instance, if Vicky had a dog as her icon and that was her dog, and you reversed image searched and it came up with a dog walker with her name, that's how you would probably go about that if you were to do
I think
that.
That umbrella guy met his wife. He was some kind of social worker or something, and that she was underage at the time, which means that he groomed an underage girl. Tug's wife had been catfishing dudes for dick pics, and also that she had described guys' dicks as pretty. I remember the DMs of her leaking about that. You can check out the rest of this video on our Subscribe Star, linked below.